Good morning, everyone. Today is March the 16th, 2021, and this is StockCast, your pre-market show. My name is James Mason. With me is Todd Derby. Todd, how you doing today?
Doing well, thank you. How are you doing?
I am doing outstanding. So Looking at the pre-market, the Dow futures are currently down negative 32 points. The S&P 500 futures positive 2 points. I expect that the market probably opens up choppy today, and we'll just have to take it from there, see how it goes. So if you are watching this show today, just remember that you are beautiful. I am beautiful, and it's just one of those things. So, all right, Todd, what do we have today?
Let's take a look at a couple tickers that are popping off the radar, and one that was talked about back in January, even when it was sub $1, ZOM.
Oh, Zoom. Not Zoom. I just call it Zoom. ZOM. So let me pull it up on the chart here. So if y'all know me, I completely bashed this thing into the ground once it was like around $1.50, because fundamentally it didn't make sense, and it still doesn't fundamentally make sense. But I was 100% wrong about this company. I haven't traded it besides shorting it back in, I think, sometime in February, beginning of February. And that was just a quick scalp. Nothing much, really. But nonetheless, like, this thing has turned into just an absolute beast. Currently, pre-market, it is $2.71 right now. Hit a pre-market high right here of $2.86. And this morning, they just released news about their first sale of their True Forma. So for all of y'all who are in this ticker, and there are definitely a lot of y'all, because y'all were trying to beat me up in the comments when I was just beating it down. But hey, you were right. I will humbly admit that you were right. And hey, kudos to you. I'm glad you guys, did your research. Usually these tickers right here, they don't perform like this. I'm glad for your benefit that I was wrong, because a lot of y'all, man, y'all made life-changing money, and that's just amazing. So let's take a look at the last updated information for the short interest. So the last update, 645,000 shares shorted. Pretty much nothing, is really going on the short side for this. I'm sorry, hold on. My chart jumped over on me. That's the next ticker I was looking at. My bad. All right. So the last update, 54.4 million. And it's still pretty much nothing overall for what is being shorted right here. But the reason why I was just really negative about this stock is its outstanding shares. There's almost 1 billion shares outstanding. It's actually 972 million shares outstanding, with the float being 957 million shares. And that is why I was just like, this thing, it's trash, especially with the way it was running before they even had a product out on the market. So let's take a look at the daily chart here. As you can see, I charted the crap out of this a couple weeks ago to help some traders out. But here we are, pre-market. We'll zoom in. I know this chart looks like crap with all these support and resistances, but bear with me, please. So there's a little dashed line right here at 272 now. And currently we have open range up to 298. Now, once we really break above that range right here, start breaking above $3, this thing is probably going to just take off. It's going to create all-time highs. And at that point, who knows what it can go up to. There's so many people who are holding this, and they are serious about holding this. And I hope this makes a lot of y'all millionaires if you've been in this since the beginning. Me personally, I'm not jumping in it either way. I'm not even going to risk trying to short this thing, because I'll have my face ripped off. I already know it. It's just one of those stocks that you just know better than to short. And I am not touching it in that kind of way.
I want to know if there's any millionaires in our group that got into this and have changed their lives. That'd be awesome to hear that story.
I do know of a few who have made well into the six-figure range, and it's impressive. So kudos to them. Like that's amazing, honestly. So let's hit another one. Todd, you spoke about this one yesterday. This is ticker AZRX.
I was in that one yesterday. Actually, I was in it before yesterday. It was a swing trade for me that was alerted in our chat room. My average in there was $1.30 or $1.33. I ended up selling $2.13 yesterday morning, and then I had a dip. Probably just got shorted down, but the news is solid on it. So I got back in at $1.52, and this morning it printed over $2.30 again. So I'm still holding it. I think it's going to bounce over $2 today. I think they're waiting on. Look at my notes here. They have FDA clearance expected first quarter of 21 or early of second quarter. So we have a couple weeks left in the first quarter or early. So this could be a little longer swing trade than some like it, but I think it's going to pop and be a pretty good run. But I've made a little bit of money already on it.
Okay. So they actually just released this information news-wise. So they just released that they announced the completion of enrollment in their phase 2B option 2 clinical trial of MS 1819, and it just goes on. So you guys can read the article. Let me see if I can find you all a link here. I'm going to pull this link up for y'all. Now I'll drop it in the chat right here. All right, so I've posted that link in the chat for y'all if any of y'all care about it. Again, that news just released, and this is something that I haven't really had eyes on. I heard Todd, talking about it, and he's been on top of this. But let's break this down right now. So looking at the fundamentals. So this is the one that has pretty much next to nothing being shorted against it. So 645,000 shares on its last update. 1% of the float, no big deal. Outstanding shares, 65.2 million shares. The float, 60 million. So decent size float in terms of, it's not bloated or anything like that. And then you have this FDA catalyst. So that is what we like to see in a complete package. And, we have these two nice spikes right here. And for me, if I was going to look to trade it, and I potentially might, it all just depends on all my open trades right now and how they perform today. But what I would like to see is on this 5-minute chart, I want to see this white line. This is the 9 EMA line. Cross above this VWAP line. When I say cross above, I'm not talking about the candlesticks. I'm talking about the physical line itself. I have to see that physical line cross above this VWAP line before I'll make an entry there. That's what I look for. And the reason why I use that strategy is because you can have candlesticks come up here and cross above, and then it will pull back. You got to remember these EMA lines, all these lines actually, they're delayed indicators. So I want to see the actual value of that 9 EMA line cross above the value of that VWAP line, and that's when I know to make an entry. And then if I had to cut it, I just do the opposite. If that white line crosses above it and then crosses back down below it, I know to cut it. So that's how I pretty much trade using the 9 EMA line and the VWAP line. And it's a pretty solid strategy. If you don't know about my free course in the YouTube playlist, check it out. So just go to the playlist section, and it's right there. It literally is titled How to Trade Stocks in 2021. And with that being said, I appreciate y'all if you could hit that like button. And if you don't follow us yet, make sure you subscribe. So on the last updated analytics, 61% of y'all watch these videos
It's
and
awesome.
you ain't committed. Like I said yesterday, if you like it, you got to put a ring on it, baby. All right. So while y'all doing that, let's take a look at the YouTube comments right here.
Let's talk about APOP. And I really want to say is that we have a lot of members, including myself, including you, and you're heavy in it. You've been shy about sharing that, but it's the same message every day. We're waiting for data. We're waiting for the news to come out, just like we were waiting for AZRX or some of these other bio tickers. When APOP releases their news, it's going to be a circus. Until then, we're just sitting on our hands, and we keep.
Yeah.
I know you're getting messages. I'm getting messages. It's a constant question. If you've got to cut the trade because you have to free up some cash, I get it. I understand it. But sometimes in this game, it's patience is the winner, and it's like you just got to wait and hang in there. So that's really what I wanted to say.
Yeah. Like, I'll be honest, guys. I love a lot of y'all. There's a lot of y'all I can't stand because some of y'all just freaking jerks. But the ones who I love, y'all personally know me, and you know the ones I'm talking about. And I have no problem saying that. I could care less. But man, some people the amount of messages y'all send us every day, emails, DMs, whatnot, man, it's overwhelming. You start getting to the point to where we see your messages every day, and we have to drown it out because you're taking up too much time for answering something that we have answered 100 plus times already. But like, you guys will know when news release on this thing. This thing is gonna just go insane. And like Todd said, if you have to free up capital, then that's just what you have to do. It's all about staying patient. And if you can stay patient, if you're not in over your head in any trade, that's the best trade that you can make, to where you're not stressing financially about it, since, you're not just stuck into one ticker and have your whole portfolio tied up into it. And you can move on with other trades, or you can average up or average down in that trade. But, with APOP yesterday, it was kind of an emotional roller coaster in a sense. I mean, we did hit these pre-market highs around 443, and then this bizarre candle of someone just unloading right here, it literally went from 398 down to 350, and it happened quick. And I mean, that's just the way it is. So if you're just trying to play in between the lines and chase pennies, and you're in over your head, this might be stressful for you. But I'm not chasing pennies. I'm chasing dollars, and I'm waiting for that news. I don't care what the PPS value is on this thing right now until the news is released. And if it's positive news, my overall target price is 10.05. That's me personally. That's my plan, and we'll see what happens. It may not even hit 10.05. Nobody knows. But based off of my technical analysis, I feel like it has potential to hit that. But we'll just have to see. We'll have to see the demand. And, again, it's gonna matter with what they release, and also the time that they release it. If they release it during market hours, I'm not going to be as optimistic about it hitting $10 if they do it in the live market. And the reason why is it's probably going to halt. And once it halts, that puts eyes on it for people to short it. So that's going to take away from it. But if they release this data, in my opinion, in the pre-market or after hours, then we probably stand a good chance of this thing really taking off like a rocket. So that is APOP.
Yeah, if we get any after hours news or pre-market news, it'll be buckle up time.
Yeah. All right.
Let's take a look at here's a ticker on the one of our members asked about VISL, VISL. I'm not in it. It's a ticker I've traded previously in a swing trade, and see what's going on.
All right. Let's see if we have any news on it. All right. So fundamentally, last update, short interest. We'll just round up. 5.6 million shares being short. 12% of the float overall. Outstanding shares, 45.6 million shares, both outstanding and the float. So let's just put it on the daily chart. Let's see if we have any news as well. All right. So it looks like we should have some upcoming catalyst. As for window release, that's just something that, nobody knows, to be honest. If we knew when news and catalysts would release, we'd be billionaires. So we have catalysts that are pending, whenever they get released. But looking at this chart overall, let me see. Currently, we are sitting at 369 pre-market value. Realistically, for me, I'd have to wait for it to break above 450 to make an entry. And let me just draw a trend line for y'all. All right, so you can see that trend line I'm drawing, and the reason why, it's breaking above this grouping of highs right here. That's what I want to see. I mean, we are talking almost a point away, so roughly really like 90 cents or whatever. But you have to wait for confirmation. Unless if you just have a bankroll and you can take a small position right now and then just scale in, average down, whatever, until that happens. But if you're waiting to get into a breakout, that's the range right at 450. Or that's the range for me, at least at 450. I'd have to see it to break above before making an entry. And based off of the overall outstanding shares, see, the 10-day average for volume is 12.3 million shares. So my overall target price for this would be $13.20, right in there, $13.20. And the reason why I'm choosing that, so I showed you how I determined the breakout, but if we look across here, we can see where this price action played out at in the past. And we see that the candlesticks came down here, solid support, came up. When it broke down, it created this little channel. And you can see, this 13.20 range was a strong resistance. So I'm kind of expecting it to break above that 450 range. And if the catalyst hits just right, potentially send it up to about 13.20. So that's what I would look for right there. I'm actually just going to put an alert in. I'll put eyes on this once it breaks above 409. Actually, let me put another one in as well.
Jordan, stop.
All right. So that's what I see for this ticker. This is VISL. So Victor, India, Sierra, Lima. All right. So let's take a look at the comments, see what everyone is giving us today for stocks. And we'll hit a few, and we'll take off from there. So, see, Dan has one, ticker CANF. Okay, so pre-market, this thing, we're currently up almost 83%. Let me look at the news on this. Okay, so they released news that they are out licensing a deal. And again, this is something that you'll just have to do your own research on. It'd take me forever to do it right here online. But let's look at the short interest. So pretty much next to nothing in short interest, 335,000 shares on the last update. Share structure, outstanding shares, 16.9 million shares outstanding. The float, 15.4 million. So a low float. This thing has already jumped up 81%. And let me just look at this a little bit more. If this thing really starts breaking above this $5 range, it's, in theory, should take off a lot more. And the reason why, that is breaking this high back here. But that may or may not happen. And I'll tell you why in a second. But my overall target price on this would be about $6.75. And with that risk of, trying to play it at that breakout above 5, I only need to chase really less than 2 points here. That wouldn't be worth it for me. So let me look at the 5-minute chart here. We see this thing just making one heck of a push. And as this thing stands, I'd have to see this thing pull back before making an entry. I would love to take it breaking above that pre-market high, but me personally, I couldn't do it right now with how hot this RSI is, at least with this setup. I'd have to see how this thing goes. I'd like to see a slight pullback or at least some just consolidation here. Let this cool off. Let that RSI trickle back down. It just doesn't need to be really over 80 right now with the RSI at a high of around 93 back here. So let's see what this thing does. Honestly, I'm not sure if I'll even play this one today. This is overall, I do like the share structure. It obviously has a catalyst here, but I need to see it cool off a little bit and then break above that pre-market high to take a day trade on it. So the current pre-market high is 398, so I'd have to wait for it to break 4. If they're breaking 4, let me look at the daily chart again. So with the breaking 4, and then we also have this breakout point here at 5, which will also act as a resistance. Just so remember that, guys. I'd have to take a small position on this trade. And this is just one of those trades that if you weren't already in, you're chasing it at this point. But that's not to say that you can't make money chasing it. We rocked one out yesterday in a day trade that we called out to our members. But anyways, that's what I see for ticker CANF. And Todd, do you have anything to say about this one before we move on?
No, I'm going to dig into this a little bit more. I'm going to check the news a little bit and see how strong that news is. Because if it's fluffy news, this would be a short candidate.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I'm not ready to comment either way. Actually, I got a lot of swings on my plate, so this probably won't be on my radar unless something alerts me differently.
Yeah, I'm in the same position. I have so many swing trades going on right now with APOP. Honestly, being my largest position size ever in a swing trade. So that's my situation. I had to save capital for opportunities, for great opportunities, and I have to be right with those opportunities to maximize that. And it's just hard to say right now. So let's take a look again at ticker SNES. We spoke about this one yesterday, and yesterday I alerted to my members. I was gonna put a stop loss in, and it actually got triggered. So I stopped out of this thing yesterday. I'm not in it again. What I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna wait until it breaks above 190, and the reason why. Let's look back here. So you can see this little hash line right here at 190. It breaking above that line is breaking above these highs back here. And that will show me that this thing is going to continue on making a bullish play in theory based off the charts. But the reason why I'm not going to jump back in right yet was before I got stopped out yesterday, I had a phenomenal entry. And trying to jump in now, if I jump in now, I gave up that entry already by getting stopped out for profit, which I had nice profit. I'm not going to lie. I had a total of 18,000 shares. And I mean, it is what it is. But if I try to jump in this thing right now and take the same position size, it's currently at 174. I stopped out. I think it was 168. It's 168 or 167. So I'm giving up 8 cents of a difference of a spread. So I'm going to pay more to jump back in. So just hear me out. I know I said 190, but hear me out. I'm going to pay more to jump back in right now if I do. Now, if I jumped in right now and this thing took off running and broke above 190 and then sold up to $6 over time, it's not going to just happen overnight unless they drop some amazing catalyst. But if it started moving up right now, that'd be perfect. With any trade, that'd be perfect. But what if it doesn't? And the odds are more against you than anything. If it doesn't, and I jump back in, I gave up a spread of roughly 8 cents per share, and then it pulls back on me. So if it pulls back on me and literally goes down to my original entry point, I'm upside down at that point. It's not a winning trade anymore. So that's why I'm going to hold off until I see it break above 190, because that is a breakout point, and then I'll re-enter. I don't care. I'll pay more, but at least I have confirmation. I won't be playing in between those lines. And hopefully you guys understand what I'm talking about. It's just all about risk. It has to break above a certain zone for me to enter again, or I feel like I'm just flipping a coin at this point, and I have a 50% chance of it going in either direction. And I just don't like those odds. So that's where I stand on this ticker. That is SNES. And I know a lot of people are in this one. Some of y'all are still in this. Some of y'all jump back in it, but just keep that in your mind. So let's hit one more really quick.
Let's talk about AMC, just because I actually saw a video yesterday where a guy was touting AMC. I think Johnny shared it with us.
The guy talking about
going to $100, $200, $300.
And that was his low range.
Yeah.
At one point he said $2,000. I was like, what?
Clearly, whatever he's smoking, he should share with the rest of us.
Yeah.
Because the guy is. So I'm concerned that it's a low price stock. It's a meme stock, and if you're going to trade AMC, it's got to be a quick trade. It's got to be a quick scalp. I'm not saying I'm not going to. I like the quick scalp, but This is not a buy and hold. Don't buy in. I would not be buying into the whole diamond hands, hold to rocket ship to the moon. You'll get yourself in trouble, I think.
Yeah. Guys, you know who the type of people who talk all that stuff with hold the line, diamond hands, those people, they're broke. I'm not going to lie. Like, if you guys, and some of y'all probably watching this, or we'll watch this later, will probably get triggered at this point. And if you cannot emotionally control yourself at this point, then you're the issue. No one else here is the issue. You're the issue, and you're not going to make it long in the trading game. That's just the way it is. So with that being said, the people who are talking all this crap with diamond hands, yeah, we saw GameStop. That's what you call black swan. Those things just don't happen like that. They're trying to make it happen with AMC. And can it happen? Yeah, it can happen. But is it going to happen? Nobody freaking knows for sure. But guess what? This won't, in my opinion, this won't happen the way GameStop happened. And the reason why? The hedge funds had their pants down around their ankles with GameStop. It ain't like that anymore. These guys have already changed the game. For the ones who are in the TT Blackbox subscription, if y'all notice already, when I make a post and y'all get in, and then later on, I decide to push it out to a larger group of people, what happens? These brokers make it to where y'all can't get into it, with E-Trade being the worst one. And I'm sure y'all can post that and confirm that in the comments. How many times? I mean, APOP currently. The last one, SNMP. I alerted those. They were just making phenomenal bullish runs. I mean, they were selling, into the wind. And what happened? When we all start talking about it, because they're now monitoring social media. And when there's a quick influx like that, talking about a low float ticker, they start choking the system down to where people can't get into it and make it go parabolic. So the hedge funds can get in and out of their trades. The hedge funds won't be caught with their pants down on AMC, in my opinion. If it does run up, it's not because you're squeezing them out. They're probably pushing it up too. And they're going to get it up to a certain point, and then they're going to pull the rug. They will always win. Just remember that, guys. So fundamentally, AMC, the short interest on the last update is 55.5 million shares being shorted, 19.5% of the float overall. And again, this is delayed data. It's not because my data is delayed. It's because they report it every 2 weeks. So with short interest data, you're behind up to 2 weeks. So remember that. So outstanding shares, 450 million shares outstanding. The float, 284 million shares. This thing is bloated, guys. So, man, just remember that. The people giving out these radical target prices, they're trying to create FOMO. Chances are they're upside down on it already. They want to create FOMO to get more investors into it, to push it up so they can actually make a profit. And I mean, there are some people who scream diamond hands who do take their profit because they're smart. They know, hey, I need to start taking my profit. And they get out, guys. Remember that. They're not holding forever. They're locking in profit. Don't be the dumb person who thinks that, hey, we're all holding here, and then you're the last one holding. You are holding. You're holding bags, and you're taking losses. And especially when you have a ton of nice profit, don't go from having nice profit to taking an astronomical loss. That's just silly, guys. So just keep that in mind. I want to see you guys be successful. And again, if you get upset over someone just being honest with you, this ain't for you. Trading ain't for you. Investing ain't for you. I don't have no issues with AMC. I like the company. but fundamentally, it doesn't make sense. So that's my opinion on AMC, and that is all I have today. So y'all take care, trade safe, and again, like I said in the very beginning of this video, I expect the market to open up choppy, but we'll just have to see how it goes. So y'all trade safe, and we will see y'all tomorrow.
Have a good day.